My friend, you are richer than you know. You are wealth itself. You simply have forgotten. The secret to manifesting great sums of money in 2 days or less is not found in striving, struggling, or begging an outside power. It is found within your own wonderful imagination. You must claim the state of wealth as if it were already yours. Feel it now with all the vividness of reality. Imagine the weight of thick bills in your hands. Hear the rustle of them as you count them. Sense the pride, the relief, the excitement. Feel the new life flowing through you because abundance is yours. You are not asking for money. You are assuming you already possess it. This is the great key. You must saturate your mind with the certainty that the money is already here. Refuse to entertain any thought of lack. If you see yourself still waiting, still hoping, still yearning, stop. Go back to the inner scene where you already have it. Persist there. Live there. In the unseen world, the moment you accept this state as real, it is done. It is finished. The money must come, drawn by the law that cannot fail. It may seem sudden, unexpected, but it is not magic, it is law. Say within yourself, I am wealthy now. I have all the money I desire. It comes to me easily, freely, and abundantly. Feel the truth of it. Feel it until it dominates your mood, your heartbeat, your breath. You are not a beggar in the universe. You are the creator. If you want to see huge sums of money in your hands within 2 days, act now in your mind. Celebrate now. Thank now. Sleep tonight as one who already possesses it. Wake tomorrow not looking for signs, but living in the joy of accomplishment. It does not matter how. The means are not your concern. The world must bend to the one who has assumed the state of possession. Doors will open. Opportunities will spring forth. Unexpected channels will arise. Money is not something you chase, fight for, or even create. It already exists. It exists in infinite supply, moving through different forms, hands, and experiences. The truth is, the money you desire is already part of your reality. You simply have to align yourself with it. To grasp this, you must shift your focus from effort to embodiment, from striving to assuming. You do not make wealth appear out of thin air. You make yourself the one who already has it, and then reality has no choice but to reflect your inner certainty. You are surrounded by an invisible field of infinite possibilities. Within that field, there is a version of you who already has the financial abundance you are seeking. That version is not in some distant future. It exists now, in the unseen. The question is not whether the money exists. The only question is whether you are willing to identify with the version of yourself that possesses it. The way to align with this truth is not by efforting or struggling harder. It is through assumption. What would you feel if you knew the money was already yours? What thoughts would you think? How would you act today if you were fully confident that in just a short time you would have more money than you ever imagined? This feeling, this shift in consciousness is the doorway. When you move into that feeling, truly and sincerely, you are no longer asking, hoping, or wishing. You are claiming. You are becoming. The external world is not separate from your internal state. It is the mirror of it. You cannot demand the mirror to show you a wealthy image while inwardly you hold on to thoughts of lack and limitation. The mirror only reflects what you are. If you see poverty, it is because you feel poor inside. If you see delay, it is because you believe that what you want is far away. If you see abundance, it is because you have assumed abundance as your identity. You are aligning, not creating. This distinction is vital. When you think you have to create money, you place it outside yourself, you push it into the future, you make it something separate. But when you realize that it is already here, and that you are simply tuning yourself to the frequency where it is natural and normal, you step into effortless manifestation. You no longer act from desperation, You act from certainty. You no longer speak about what you are hoping for. You speak from the position of one who already possesses. Imagine standing in a room filled with hundreds of radio stations. Each station is broadcasting something different. One is scarcity, another is modest living, another is sudden wealth. You are not inventing the station. You are simply tuning into the one you choose. You do this with your dominant feeling. You do this with your inner conversation. You do this with the imaginal scenes you replay in your mind when no one is looking. Money is energy. Money is consciousness. When you feel yourself abundant, when you think and move and speak as one who naturally expects wealth, you send out a signal and money flows to match that signal, not because you forced it, not because you demanded it, but because you allowed yourself to be the person who already lives in that reality. Stop thinking of money as something you must earn through struggle. Stop thinking of it as something outside of you. Begin to understand. The moment you imagine yourself already having it and feel it as real, you have set the process in motion. It is inevitable. The outer world will rearrange itself to accommodate your inner change. There is nothing else you must do but remain faithful to this inner shift. Keep choosing the feeling of wealth. Keep resting in the knowing that the money is yours now. Do not sabotage it with doubt, with checking, with impatience. Act naturally, as though it is done. Walk, breathe, and live as though your financial reality has already transformed. Your world is not ruled by chance, fate, or external circumstances. It is ruled by your assumptions. What you deeply and consistently assume to be true will, without fail, become the world you experience. This is not a hopeful idea or wishful thinking. It is an unbreakable law. If you desire money and you desire it quickly, you must step into the consciousness where it is already yours. You must assume, with all the conviction you can gather, that it belongs to you now. Assumption is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It is the power that takes what is unseen and crystallizes it into form. Many people wait for signs before they believe. They look to their bank account, their job, or their opportunities to give them permission to feel wealthy. But this is backward. You must feel wealthy first. You must assume the reality of abundance before your senses confirm it. When you do this faithfully, the world bends to mirror your inner acceptance. You do not need evidence to assume something. You do not need permission to believe you are wealthy. Assumption is an act of imagination, an inner decision. When you close your eyes and declare, "I am rich," and you feel it as fact, you are planting a seed. That seed will grow if you do not dig it up with doubt and impatience. Your inner world must claim it first, and the outer world must follow. To assume money is yours, begin by asking, how would I feel right now if I already had the financial abundance I seek? Would I feel relieved, joyful, free? Then take that feeling and make it your dwelling place. Visit it so often that it becomes natural. Speak, think, and act from that feeling even before the money shows up. This is how you cause it to appear. When you assume something, you are not pretending. You are declaring that the unseen reality is the real one. You are choosing to trust the creative power within you over the temporary evidence outside of you. The outer world is slow to change, but the inner world shifts in an instant. And when it does, the outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself around your new belief. Feeling is the secret ingredient. You cannot simply repeat words without emotion and expect transformation. The universe responds to the energy behind your words, to the feeling state you embody. If you say, "I am wealthy," but you feel doubt or fear, you are assuming lack, not abundance. True assumption requires surrendering completely to the new state of being, as if it were already fact. Imagine receiving a message that a large sum of money has been deposited into your account. How would you react? Would you smile, laugh, call a friend, feel a deep peace settle over you? That reaction, that feeling is what you must practice internally. You must summon it without needing the external trigger. This is living from the end. And it is the fastest way to collapse time between desire and fulfillment. You must also remember that assumption is not a one-time act. It is a posture of being. You may have to return to it again and again, especially when the outer world tempts you to doubt. Each time you feel uncertainty, gently but firmly bring yourself back to the feeling of certainty. Say inwardly, "It is done. I have already received." When you assume your desires fulfilled and you persist in that assumption, you invoke a power greater than any obstacle. Circumstances will shift, people will move, opportunities will arise seemingly out of nowhere. Paths you could not have planned will open before you. But none of this will happen until you move first in consciousness. Stop waiting for the world to change. Assume the change within yourself. Assume that the money is yours right now. Assume that the abundance is flowing, that the wealth is increasing, that prosperity is your natural state. Feel it so vividly that the outer world must yield to your inner conviction. This is the law, and it never fails. The world you experience is not determined by what you see, it is shaped by what you feel. Emotion is the creative force behind every manifestation. If you want to receive abundant results, you must feel abundant now, before there is any evidence. This is the secret that turns wishes into reality. To wait until you see the money before you feel wealthy is to trap yourself in endless waiting. But when you choose to feel wealthy without conditions, you set the process of manifestation into unstoppable motion. Feeling is not secondary, it is primary. Your emotions are not reactions to the world, they are creators of the world. What you consistently feel, you inevitably live. If you feel rich, grateful, and full now, even if your outer circumstances seem unchanged, you have already planted the seeds of wealth. And seeds by their very nature must grow when nurtured. To feel wealthy now, you must withdraw your attention from what appears to be missing. You must close your eyes to lack, to limitation, to the temporary appearance of not enough. You must instead turn inward and conjure the feeling of financial freedom. Picture yourself with everything you desire. Imagine paying bills easily, shopping freely, giving generously. Feel the relaxation in your body, the lightness in your mind, the joy that bubbles up from deep within. This feeling is your true currency. It is the energy that draws like to itself. You are not lying to yourself when you feel wealthy before you see the wealth. You are aligning with a deeper truth. Reality is fluid. It responds to the dominant emotions you radiate. If you make a home in the feeling of abundance, your external world must eventually match it. The law of life is simple. What you feel on the inside, you will experience on the outside. Emotion is magnetic. It pulls experiences, people, and opportunities into your orbit. When you feel lack, you attract more reasons to feel lacking. When you feel abundance, you attract more reasons to feel abundant. It is not about forcing or struggling, it is about aligning. It is about becoming an emotional match for the reality you desire. Imagine yourself as a tuning fork. When you vibrate with the frequency of wealth, when you feel secure, prosperous, joyful, you call forth circumstances that match that frequency. Opportunities seem to find you effortlessly. Money flows through unexpected channels. Resources appear just when you need them. But all of this begins with the inner work of feeling. Many people make the mistake of waiting for their outer world to change before they allow themselves to feel good. They say, "I'll feel abundant when I get the money." But life does not work that way. The feeling must come first. It is the cause, not the effect. The more intensely and sincerely you can feel abundance now, the faster the outer results will crystallize around you. You have the power to feel anything you choose at any moment. You are not at the mercy of appearances. Even if your bank account is low, even if bills are piling up, you can close your eyes, take a breath, and enter into the feeling of having more than enough. You can imagine the relief, the gratitude, the excitement. And by doing this, you are reprogramming your reality at the most fundamental level. Persist in the feeling. Make it your most familiar place. When doubt creeps in, when fear whispers lies, gently return to your chosen state. Affirm silently, I am wealthy. I am provided for. Abundance is my nature. Anchor yourself again and again in the emotion you have decided is yours. You are not waiting for wealth, you are revealing it. You are not hoping for abundance, you are embodying it. Feel wealthy now, without reason, without proof, without hesitation. Feel it because it is the truth of who you are beneath every temporary appearance. And as you do, the world will mirror back to you what you have dared to claim within. Detachment is the force that accelerates the arrival of your desires. It may seem strange, but the moment you stop needing the manifestation, the moment you stop constantly checking for signs, is the moment it begins to rush toward you. True creation happens in a state of relaxed confidence, not anxious waiting. You must learn to release the grip of desperation and trust that what you have claimed in your inner world is already unfolding perfectly in the outer world. When you are attached, when you are constantly looking, measuring, doubting, you are broadcasting the energy of lack. You are silently affirming that you do not yet have what you want. Every time you check the clock, the bank account, the email inbox, hoping for a sign, you are stepping out of the state of fulfillment and into the state of absence. And as long as you remain emotionally tied to absence, you prolong the waiting. Detachment is not about giving up on your desire. It is about giving up the anxious obsession with how and when it will come. It is the art of knowing that the moment you desired it and assumed it, it was done. It is finished. The universe has already arranged itself to deliver what you have claimed. Your only task now is to live in the peace of that knowing. When you relax, when you stop monitoring, when you trust that it is already yours, you open the door for faster manifestation. Relaxation is not laziness, it is supreme confidence. It is the quiet inner smile that says, of course it's mine. I have no need to rush or beg. I already possess it in my inner world, and the outer world is simply catching up. Think of a seed planted in the soil. You do not dig it up every hour to check its growth. You water it, you provide sunlight, and you trust the unseen process. You know that growth is happening even when you cannot see it. In the same way, your desires are growing beneath the surface. The energy has been set in motion. The manifestation is inevitable if you leave it alone. Detachment is a statement of belief. It is saying, I trust the unseen more than the seen. I trust my inner vision more than outer appearances. It is choosing to align with the end result rather than with the momentary evidence. If you have truly assumed your desire is fulfilled, there is no need to chase it. Chasing only reveals that you believe it is running from you. Practice detachment by shifting your focus. Instead of obsessing over when the money will come, focus on embodying the version of yourself who already has it. How would you move, think, and feel if you knew that everything you desired was inevitable? You would likely be relaxed, joyful, generous, and at ease. Begin to live in that energy now, and you accelerate the unfolding of your desires. The power lies not in forcing outcomes, but in allowing them. When you are detached, you are not passive. You are vibrantly alive in the feeling of already having. You are no longer driven by the external, but by the deep inner conviction that what you desire is part of who you are. Each time you feel the urge to look for evidence, remind yourself, It is already done. Each time impatience creeps in, breathe deeply and return to the feeling of certainty. You do not have to push, strive, or struggle. Your assumption has already been accepted by the unseen forces of creation. Detachment is faith in action. It is resting in the unseen reality and knowing that all things are working in your favor. The less you interfere, the faster it comes. Relax, trust, and move through your days with the quiet assurance that your world is transforming even now. You have set the wheels in motion. Now allow them to carry you effortlessly to the fulfillment you have claimed. Creation is not complicated. It does not require long rituals or exhausting repetition. The subconscious mind is moved most powerfully through short, vivid, imaginal acts. A simple scene, fully felt and joyfully imagined, can impress the deeper layers of your being far faster than hours of desperate affirmations. It is the emotional charge and the clarity of the scene that gives it power, not its length or complexity. Imagine for a moment holding a check in your hands. The paper cool and crisp. You see your name written on it. The amount you desire boldly printed in the corner. You feel the texture beneath your fingertips. You hear the rustle of the paper as you unfold it. You smile, a natural smile of someone who is receiving what they have long accepted as theirs. You feel the thrill in your chest, the gratitude in your heart. This is a short scene, perhaps just a few seconds long, but it carries the entire emotional weight of your fulfilled desire. The subconscious mind does not understand words alone. It responds to feeling. It responds to imagery that is alive and emotionally charged. When you construct a short, vivid, imaginal act and replay it lovingly, you are speaking the true language of creation. You are communicating to the deeper part of you that this experience is real, that it has already happened. Do not burden yourself by trying to imagine every detail of the journey. You do not need to know how the money will come or map every step. All you need is a clear end scene, a moment that implies your desire is fulfilled. Perhaps it is a notification on your phone showing a large deposit. Perhaps it is a loved one congratulating you. Perhaps it is you sitting in your favorite chair, feeling the ease of financial freedom. Choose a scene that feels natural, one that would occur after the manifestation is complete. Keep the scene short so that you can enter it easily and repeat it effortlessly. Let it become like a song stuck in your mind, a melody you return to throughout the day. When doubts arise, when the outer world shows no sign of change, return to your scene. Feel it again. Smile inwardly as you replay it, knowing that you are watering the seed you have planted. The beauty of short, vivid, imaginal acts is that they bypass resistance. The longer and more complicated the visualization, the more opportunity for the rational mind to interfere, to question, to doubt. But a quick, joyful scene slips past the guard of reason and sinks directly into the fertile soil of the subconscious. It becomes a living memory of the future, a memory that your world must eventually reflect. Do not force the scene. It should feel light, playful, easy. If you find yourself straining to imagine, simplify even further. Focus on a single sensation, a single gesture, a single phrase. Maybe it is simply the feeling of relief flooding your body. Maybe it is the sound of someone saying, "You did it." Trust that the smallest, most vivid spark can ignite the greatest fire of creation. Once you have your scene, persist in it. Return to it upon waking, before sleeping, and any time your mind drifts. Let it be your secret dwelling place, the inner home you carry with you, regardless of outer appearances. Over time, you will find that this imaginal act begins to feel more real than what your senses report. You will walk in the assumption of its truth, and reality will bend to match it. Creation is not a matter of effort, but of inner acceptance. A few seconds of sincere, vivid imagining can do what months of hard work cannot. Enter your scene with joy, feel it as real, and know that the subconscious has been impressed. It is already working, already rearranging, already guiding you to the fulfillment of your desire. Trust the unseen process. Trust the simplicity. A single joyful imaginal act holds more power than the world suspects. Gratitude is the golden seal of manifestation. It is the silent acknowledgement that what you have imagined is already yours. When you end your imaginal act with genuine heartfelt gratitude, you impress upon the subconscious that the event is complete. Gratitude shifts your state from wanting and hoping into having and knowing. It affirms silently but powerfully, it is done. Many make the mistake of waiting to feel gratitude until the physical world presents the evidence. But true creation works in the opposite way. You feel gratitude first, and the evidence must follow. Gratitude is not merely a polite emotion, it is a magnetic force. When you feel grateful now, you signal to life itself that you already possess what you ask for, and life responds by making it visible. After you imagine yourself holding the check, seeing the bank alert, or hearing the words of congratulations, let yourself be flooded with a wave of gratitude, not forced, not mechanical, but genuine, like the natural gratitude you would feel if you were truly standing in the middle of your fulfilled dream. Imagine your heart swelling with appreciation, your body relaxing into joy, your mind at peace because the search is over. Feel the weight lift from your shoulders. Feel the sweet certainty that all is well. Locks you into the state of the wish fulfilled. It tells the subconscious mind, this is my reality now. And the subconscious, indifferent and faithful, accepts your emotional claim as fact and sets to work bringing it into full view. The more sincerely you feel gratitude, the deeper you impress the reality of your desire into the unseen currents that shape your life. If ever you feel doubt creeping in, if the outer world tempts you to question or fear, return immediately to gratitude. Close your eyes for a moment and say within yourself, thank you, it is done. Remind yourself that unseen forces are arranging themselves perfectly on your behalf. Trust that you do not need to know every detail of how it will unfold. Your feeling of gratitude is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It also transforms you internally. It lifts you into a higher vibration, into a state where abundance, ease, and miracles become natural. A grateful heart is a magnet for blessings. It attracts more to be grateful for. When you make gratitude your natural state, you live as though everything is always working for you. And so it does. Practice this simple rhythm. Imagine, feel, and give thanks. Let gratitude be the final note of every imaginal scene. Let it be the atmosphere you breathe throughout your day. Even a few seconds of true gratitude can anchor the manifestation more firmly than hours of strained visualization. It is the sweet, simple assurance that you are already home, already fulfilled, already provided for. You do not need to beg or plead for what you desire. You only need to accept it inwardly and seal it with gratitude. Gratitude is the language of having. It speaks directly to the heart of creation, announcing that you recognize and accept your blessings now. And once you have accepted them inwardly, life has no choice but to mirror them outwardly. Give thanks now. Give thanks deeply. Give thanks with joy, as if your greatest dreams have already arrived, because within the unseen they already have. Your gratitude is the final step, the invisible signature that completes the creation and calls it forth into your world. You were never meant to struggle for what is already yours. The money, the opportunity, the abundance you seek, they are already part of your reality, waiting for you to align. Assume, feel, relax, imagine vividly, and give thanks. When you stop chasing and start living from the end, you awaken to the truth. You are the operant power. You command your world, not by force but by feeling, by faith, by assumption. Short, joyful, imaginal acts, deeply felt emotions of abundance, effortless detachment from the how, and sincere gratitude are not just techniques. They are the very language of creation. When you dwell in the state of already having, reality bends itself to match your inner conviction. It cannot do otherwise. Leave it now. Feel it now. Celebrate it now. The moment you accept your wealth within, the outer world has no choice but to reflect it. Thank you for allowing me to speak into your imagination today. May you move forward with full faith, bold imagination, and a heart overflowing with gratitude. It is done. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the weight of success resting upon you. Not as a distant dream, not as something outside of you, but as your present reality. The wealth, the freedom, the effortless ease of abundance. It is already yours. You need not hope for it. You only need to assume it. What if, right now, you truly knew you were a millionaire? How would you walk into a room? How would you breathe? What thoughts would fill your mind? You would move with certainty, speak with authority, and carry yourself with ease. There would be no hesitation, no lack, no questioning. This is the secret that the wealthy understand. They do not wait for external proof. They become it internally first. Your outer world is a perfect reflection of your inner assumptions. If you see yourself as struggling, the world will show you struggle. If you see yourself as prosperous, wealth will find its way to you in ways you cannot predict. You must live in the state of abundance before the evidence appears. You must feel rich before the money comes. Doubt is the enemy of creation. The moment you question, where is it? When will it come? You are reaffirming that you do not yet have it. But the millionaire does not beg for wealth. They walk in the knowing that it is already theirs. They act with confidence, make decisions with assurance, and hold an unshakable belief in their own worth. If you would transform your financial reality, you must begin today. Not by working harder, not by chasing money, but by shifting your inner world. See yourself as the millionaire you already are. Walk in that vision, speak from that vision, and live from that vision. The world has no choice but to conform. Wealth is not something you earn. It is something you claim. Act as if you are already there, and soon you will be. The world you experience is nothing more than a mirror reflecting your inner state. Everything you see, touch, and interact with is a direct outpicturing of your consciousness. If you believe yourself to be wealthy, abundance must take form around you. If you see yourself as lacking, then lack will be all you know. This is not philosophy. It is the fundamental law of creation. Wealth is not something you pursue. It is something you become. You do not chase after money, hoping it will transform your life. Instead, you transform your inner world, and wealth effortlessly follows. The misconception many have is that they must first acquire external riches before they can feel abundant. They wait for success, believing that only when they have the physical manifestation of wealth can they finally think and act like a prosperous individual. But the truth is the opposite. The feeling must come first. You must assume the mindset of wealth, carry yourself with the confidence of abundance, and act from the end result before the evidence can appear. Your assumptions about yourself dictate what you receive from life. If you see yourself as struggling, you will continue to struggle. If you feel powerless over money, money will remain elusive. But the moment you shift your inner state, when you deeply know that you are a person of wealth, everything around you must rearrange itself to reflect that conviction. This is not wishful thinking. It is an immutable law. Consider for a moment those who naturally attract abundance. They do not approach life with desperation, nor do they constantly worry about finances. They move with ease, speak with certainty, and hold an unshakable belief in their own value. It is not luck that brings them success. It is their internal state. They have conditioned themselves to expect wealth, and as a result, wealth flows to them in ways they could never have anticipated. Think of someone who always struggles with money. No matter how hard they work, they never seem to get ahead. They may even experience temporary success, but soon they find themselves back in the same place of lack. Why? Because their inner state has never changed. Deep within, they see themselves as someone who must fight for survival, who must work excessively hard just to make ends meet. Their outer world is merely playing back the script they have unconsciously accepted. If you wish to transform your financial reality, you must go beyond action and enter the realm of being. Instead of trying to attract wealth, embody it. See yourself as already possessing everything you desire. Feel the security, the peace, the freedom that comes with true abundance. Walk as if you are already successful. Think from the perspective of a person who never worries about money. This is not about pretending or faking wealth. It is about stepping into the truth that what you assume to be real must become real. There is no separation between the inner world and the outer world. They are one and the same. If you internally believe that you are abundant, then life will reflect that belief in ways beyond your imagination. The key is to live in a state of knowing, not hoping, not wishing, but knowing that your wealth is inevitable. This requires discipline, for the mind will always attempt to revert to its old patterns. It will look at your current financial situation and say, but there is no money, the bank account is empty, the bills are piling up. Do not fall into this trap. What you see now is merely the reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. If you want a different future, you must create a new inner reality today. Every moment presents you with a choice. You can dwell in lack, or you can claim abundance. You can worry about money, or you can assume that everything you need is already on its way. You can see obstacles, or you can see opportunities. The decision you make in each moment determines what will unfold in your life. To act from a place of wealth means to move with certainty. A wealthy person does not hesitate to invest in themselves, does not question their ability to receive, and does not live in fear of losing money. They understand that money is a tool, a resource that flows in proportion to their belief in their own value. They expect abundance, and so it comes. So begin now. Close your eyes and step into the feeling of already being wealthy. How does it feel to know that money is no longer a concern? How do you walk? How do you speak? How do you carry yourself? Let that feeling take root in you. Let it become your natural state. The world does not give you what you want, it gives you what you are. Become wealth in consciousness, and it must manifest in form. It is law. Your imagination is the foundation of your reality. Everything you experience, every event that unfolds, and every circumstance you encounter is a reflection of what you have consistently assumed to be true in your mind. The world you see is not separate from you. It is the direct manifestation of your inner state. To change your life, you must first change what you assume, believe, and imagine to be real. Most people live under the illusion that reality is something outside of them, something fixed and immovable. They believe they must respond to circumstances rather than create them. But the truth is, reality is shaped by the thoughts you hold with conviction. If you imagine yourself as wealthy, successful, and fulfilled, then these qualities will begin to take form in your external world. If you see yourself as struggling, unlucky, or powerless, life will reflect those assumptions back to you. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the fundamental law of creation. What you dwell upon, what you emotionally invest in, becomes real. Your mind is a fertile ground, and whatever you plant within it, whether thoughts of abundance or thoughts of lack, will grow into tangible experiences. Just as a seed contains within it the potential of a towering tree, so too does your imagination contain the potential of your future reality. Everything you now possess, every aspect of your life, is the result of past assumptions. The job you have, the relationships you attract, the money in your bank account, all of it is a product of what you have previously believed and imagined. Nothing appears by accident. If you wish to transform your life, you must begin by transforming the mental images you habitually entertain. Imagination is not idle fantasy. It is the mechanism through which reality takes shape. Every invention, every great achievement, every shift in human history began first as a vision in someone's mind. The airplane, the skyscraper, the technology you use daily, none of it existed until someone imagined it into being. And just as the great minds of history used their imagination to bring forth new realities, so too can you use yours to shape the life you desire. But there is a crucial distinction to understand. Imagination is most powerful when it is combined with assumption. It is not enough to merely visualize success or wealth. You must assume it as your present reality. To assume means to take something as true, to accept it as a fact before any physical proof appears. When you assume that you already possess what you desire, you shift your state of being. You begin to think, feel, and act as if it were already yours, and by doing so, you make it inevitable. Doubt is the only thing that delays manifestation. If you imagine something but immediately contradict it with thoughts of uncertainty, you weaken its ability to materialize. Many people allow their current circumstances to dictate what they believe is possible. They look at their life, see limitations, and reinforce those limitations through their thoughts. But reality is not something to be observed and accepted. It is something to be shaped and molded from within. The key is persistence. When you hold an assumption long enough, it hardens into fact. If you consistently imagine yourself as a person of wealth, health, and success, these qualities must become part of your lived experience. The world has no choice but to conform to the reality you impress upon it. Look at your life right now. Whatever situation you find yourself in, it is the result of past imaginations, whether conscious or unconscious. If you are experiencing lack somewhere within your mind, you have accepted lack as a reality. If you are surrounded by abundance, it is because you have at some level assumed abundance to be natural for you. There is no external force deciding your fate. The power is within you. To change your life, begin by imagining your ideal reality as if it were already true. Close your eyes and step into the scene. See it, feel it, experience it in your mind with full conviction. Imagine the conversations you would have, the emotions you would feel, and the way your life would unfold if your desires were already fulfilled. Do not concern yourself with how it will happen. Your only task is to hold the assumption firmly and persist in it. As you practice this daily, you will begin to notice changes. Opportunities will appear, circumstances will shift, and people will enter your life in ways that align with your new assumption. This is not coincidence. It is the unfolding of the reality you have created within. Your imagination is the most powerful tool you possess. It is not bound by time, limitation, or circumstance. The only question is, what are you imagining? Are you using this power to create the life you desire, or are you unconsciously reinforcing a reality you do not want? Take control of your imagination. Assume the best for yourself. Persist in your vision, and reality will be compelled to align with it. You are always imagining. Make sure you are imagining wisely. The world you experience is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. It is not the circumstances outside of you that determine your reality, but the emotions, assumptions, and beliefs you hold within. If you desire wealth, success, or abundance in any form, you must first feel it before you see it. The mistake most people make is waiting for physical evidence before allowing themselves to experience the emotions of what they want. But the truth is, your outer world will only shift when your inner world has already accepted the new reality as fact. Everything in life moves according to the law of assumption. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. And what you are is dictated by what you feel to be true about yourself and your life. If you continuously feel lack, if you wake up every morning dwelling in worry, stress, or uncertainty, then these emotions reinforce a reality of limitation. But the moment you shift, when you begin to embody the feelings of abundance, security, and confidence, everything around you must rearrange itself to match this new state of being. Your emotions are the bridge between your imagination and your physical world. If you can summon the feeling of already having what you desire, even before it has appeared in your life, you activate the unseen forces that bring it into being. This is not wishful thinking. It is the process by which all things come into existence. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every extraordinary transformation has begun with someone who is able to feel their success before it materialized. When you close your eyes and step into the feeling of wealth, something remarkable happens. Your mind begins to accept it as real. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is physically present and what is vividly imagined. It simply responds to the emotions you generate. If you persist in this state, your actions, your thoughts, and even your energy begin to align with the reality of wealth. Without effort, you find yourself moving in ways that attract the right opportunities, the right people, and the right circumstances to bring your vision into form. But to do this, you must release the habit of reacting to the world as it is. Most people remain trapped because they allow their current reality to dictate their emotions. They see an empty bank account and feel scarcity. They experience setbacks and feel failure. But if you allow the physical world to determine your emotional state, you will only perpetuate the cycle of lack. Instead, you must break free from this pattern by deliberately generating the emotions of your desired state, regardless of what is currently happening around you. How would you feel if you were already wealthy? How would you carry yourself? How would you wake up in the morning, walk into a room, or speak to others? The key is not to wait for wealth to arrive before feeling abundant, but to become that version of yourself now. When you do, the world will follow suit. This is the reason why those who expect success always seem to find it, while those who fear failure continue to experience it. Expectation is a feeling. When you expect something, you feel it as certain, as inevitable, and life cannot help but reflect back to you the state you persist in. Your job is not to figure out how things will unfold. Your job is to maintain the feeling of already having what you desire. When you do, everything else takes care of itself. Ideas will come, people will appear, circumstances will shift. You will be led in ways you could not have planned. Your current financial state is not permanent. It is merely a reflection of past assumptions, past emotions, and past beliefs. If you look at your bank account, your career, or your material possessions and see lack, understand that what you are witnessing is not a fixed reality. It is the result of old thoughts and feelings that have taken shape in the physical world. But the most liberating truth is this: the moment you shift your inner state, your outer world must follow. Most people remain trapped in financial struggles because they believe their circumstances dictate their destiny. They see limitations and reinforce them with their emotions. They react to their environment instead of mastering their inner world. But if you wish to transform your financial reality, you must detach from what currently is and give your energy only to what you desire to be. Your circumstances are nothing more than a mirror of your inner world. If you continue to focus on what appears to be, you will keep recreating the same experience over and over again. You must learn to look beyond appearances, beyond temporary setbacks, beyond the illusion of lack, and dwell only in the reality of abundance within your mind. The world is fluid. It is shaped by the assumptions you persist in. If you assume wealth, despite what your physical senses tell you, the world will eventually conform. Detachment does not mean ignoring your responsibilities or denying reality. It means understanding that the reality you see today is already outdated. It was formed by past beliefs and past emotions. The power lies in your ability to stop reinforcing what you no longer wish to experience and to focus entirely on the new state you desire. When you wake up in the morning, do not dwell on financial worries. Do not check your bank account in fear or make decisions based on lack. Instead, begin to embody the feeling of financial security and abundance. Walk through your day as if money flows to you effortlessly. Act with confidence, speak with certainty, and feel the relief of knowing that your needs are already met. This shift in state is not just a mental exercise, it is a command to reality. Most people think they must wait for external evidence before they can feel abundant. But that is the great illusion. If you wait for proof before you change your feelings, you will remain stuck. The world is simply reflecting you. If you insist on seeing scarcity, if you constantly reaffirm that you do not have enough, the world will continue to echo that belief. But the moment you stop identifying with lack, the moment you refuse to let circumstances control your emotions, you step into true power. Understand this deeply. Your financial situation is a temporary expression of your past thoughts and emotions. The moment you claim a new state, the moment you feel wealthy without requiring proof, the outer world must rearrange itself to match your conviction. But you must not waver. You must not react with doubt or fear when things seem unchanged in the beginning. Just as a seed takes time to sprout, your inner transformation will soon manifest into tangible results if you persist. Detachment is the key. Detachment does not mean carelessness or irresponsibility. It means emotional freedom. It means that no matter what your eyes see, you refuse to be controlled by it. You refuse to let an empty wallet or a temporary financial setback dictate your inner state. Instead, you hold fast to the feeling of abundance, knowing that reality must conform. The people who create wealth effortlessly are not the ones who chase money. They are the ones who expect it. They move through life with an unshakable sense of security, not because they have proof, but because they know that wealth is simply a byproduct of their inner state. Their confidence draws opportunities to them. Their expectation shapes the world around them. And what most call luck is simply their ability to persist in the assumption of abundance, regardless of appearances. If you truly want to change your financial reality, you must stop defining yourself by what is visible. Your wealth is not determined by what is in your account today, but by the state of mind you consistently dwell in. Do you see yourself as someone who struggles, who barely gets by, or do you see yourself as someone who naturally attracts prosperity? Stop identifying with lack, stop reaffirming struggle, stop reacting to circumstances as if they have power over you. Begin now, right in this moment, to assume the feeling of financial security. Let go of the need to check for proof. Let go of the habit of worrying. Instead, step into the knowing that your inner state creates your outer world. If you persist in this new state, if you refuse to be moved by temporary appearances, then without effort, without strain, your world must shift. The people, the opportunities, the resources will appear, drawn by the new energy you embody. This is not wishful thinking, this is the law. Hold firm in your assumption. Do not let circumstances shake you. Your financial state is not fixed. It is fluid, ever-changing, and shaped entirely by the thoughts and emotions you entertain. Change within, and reality must follow. There is a way a person walks when they know they are valuable. There is a way they speak, a way they carry themselves, a way they move through the world that commands attention without demanding it. It is not arrogance, it is certainty. It is not pride, it is knowing. A millionaire does not beg for opportunities. does not hesitate in their decisions, does not shrink in the presence of challenges. They move with confidence, not because of what they have, but because of who they believe themselves to be. This is the key. The world does not respond to your bank account, it responds to your energy. If you walk into a room uncertain of your worth, doubting yourself, questioning whether you belong, the world will mirror that back to you. Opportunities will pass you by, people will overlook you, and wealth will seem distant. But the moment you decide, truly decide, that you are valuable, that you deserve abundance, that you have something extraordinary to offer, everything begins to shift. Confidence is not something you wait to have. It is something you choose to embody. Too many people believe that once they achieve success, then they will feel worthy. But they have it backward. Success follows confidence. Wealth follows belief. The people who rise, who attract opportunities, who step into abundance, are the ones who act as if they already belong in that world. They do not ask for permission. They do not wait for proof. They claim it. The way you carry yourself tells the world everything it needs to know about how to treat you. If you move as though you are unsure, as though you doubt your own abilities, the world will respond accordingly. People will hesitate to invest in you. Opportunities will seem scarce, and you will find yourself constantly seeking external validation. But when you step into a room with the energy of someone who knows their worth, the world takes notice. People listen. Doors open. The universe moves to accommodate you. Confidence is not about knowing every detail, having all the answers, or never making mistakes. It is about trust in yourself. Trust in your ability to figure things out. Trust in the unseen forces working in your favor. A millionaire does not second-guess their decisions because they understand that hesitation is what kills momentum. They act, they adjust, they move forward with conviction. They understand that the only thing standing between them and their vision is their own willingness to believe in it. To move with confidence, you must first release the habit of seeking approval. Most people walk through life looking for confirmation from the outside world before they allow themselves to feel valuable. They wait for someone to validate them, for a job title to define them, for money to reassure them. But true confidence does not come from external conditions, it comes from an unshakable inner state. The moment you stop waiting for the world to tell you that you are worthy and decide that you already are, everything changes. If you were already a millionaire, how would you carry yourself? How would you speak? How would you make decisions? You would not hesitate to invest in yourself. You would not shrink in the presence of those who have achieved great things. You would not waste energy worrying about whether you are good enough. You would know, and that knowing would be reflected in every movement, every word, every interaction. This is what you must embody now. Do not wait for the wealth to arrive before you begin to move like someone who has it. The moment you shift your inner state, the outer world will follow. You will notice how people begin to treat you differently. You will see how opportunities flow more effortlessly. You will feel the difference in how you approach life, not as someone hoping to be successful, but as someone who already is. Confidence is magnetic. It draws people in. It creates trust. It opens doors that seemed locked before. But this confidence cannot be faked. It must be felt. It must be real. And it becomes real the moment you decide to claim it. Stop questioning your worth. Stop waiting for external validation. Move as if you are already the person you desire to be, and watch as the world mirrors that back to you. The words you speak are not just sounds. They are declarations of who you are and what you believe to be true. Every word you utter carries energy, shaping the world around you, influencing your subconscious mind, and determining the life you live. If you wish to step into a life of wealth and abundance, you must first transform the way you speak and think. You cannot dwell in lack and expect to attract prosperity. You cannot speak of struggle and hope to experience ease. The mind does not discriminate. It accepts what you repeatedly affirm, and the world reflects it back to you. Most people unknowingly keep themselves trapped in scarcity because of the way they speak. They say things like, "I can't afford that. Money is hard to come by. I never have enough." These are not just passing thoughts. They are instructions to the subconscious mind, reinforcing the very limitations they want to escape. The subconscious mind does not question. It simply accepts and creates according to what it is given. If you constantly speak of struggle, you will experience more struggle. If you speak of limitation, you will live within those limits. But if you begin to speak in terms of wealth, prosperity, and abundance, your reality will reshape itself accordingly. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," say, "Money is always flowing to me." Instead of saying, "I'm broke," say, "I am financially abundant." At first it may feel unnatural, even untrue, but understand this. Your words are not describing reality, they are creating it. You do not wait for circumstances to change before you change your language. You change your language first, and the world follows. Wealthy people do not speak in terms of lack. They do not dwell on what they cannot do or what is missing. They speak in possibilities, in expansion, in certainty. They do not say, "I hope I can make money." They say, "Money is always working for me." They do not say, "I'm trying to be successful." They say, "I am already successful and greater things are coming." This shift in language is not just a matter of words. It is a shift in identity. When you begin to speak in wealthy terms, you rewire your mind. You start to think differently, see opportunities where others see obstacles, and attract the kind of energy that aligns with prosperity. Your entire vibration changes. People begin to respond to you differently. You start to move through the world with a quiet confidence, an assurance that success is inevitable. This is the power of language. Your words are like seeds planted in the soil of your subconscious. Speak words of abundance, and abundance will grow. Speak words of wealth, and wealth will manifest. But if you continue to speak words of struggle and limitation, that is exactly what will multiply in your life. Pay close attention to the words you use every day. Do you complain about money? Do you express frustration over your financial situation? If so, you are unknowingly reinforcing it. The key is to stop speaking about what you do not want and start affirming what you do. This does not mean ignoring reality. It means choosing which reality to reinforce. You may not have $1 million in your bank account right now, but you can still speak as if you are on your way there. You can still affirm that wealth is flowing to you, that opportunities are opening, that you are destined for financial freedom. And the more you do this, the more your mind will begin to accept it as truth. What you consistently affirm, you begin to believe, and what you believe, you experience. This is why those who constantly complain about money never seem to have enough, while those who speak of wealth and abundance continue to attract it effortlessly. Their words have shaped their expectations, and their expectations have shaped their reality. Change your language and you change your life. Stop speaking in terms of limitation. Eliminate phrases like, "I can't," "It's too expensive," "I'm just getting by." Replace them with statements that align with wealth. Say, "I'm always provided for. There is more than enough. Money comes to me in unexpected ways." These are not just affirmations, they are declarations of a new reality. Every time you speak of abundance, you shift your energy. Every time you affirm prosperity, you train your mind to seek it. And when your mind is focused on abundance, it will begin to create it in ways you cannot yet see. The world around you will shift. People, opportunities, and financial breakthroughs will begin to align with your new state of being. Do not wait for wealth to arrive before you start speaking like someone who is already wealthy. Speak it into existence now. Think in terms of success now. Align your words with the reality you desire and watch as the world reshapes itself in response to your new, abundant mindset. You must learn to live from the end, to think, feel, and act as if your desired reality is already here. The secret to manifestation is not in waiting, hoping, or wishing. It is in assuming the state of being you desire now. You do not attract wealth by longing for it. You become wealthy by embodying the mindset, emotions, and actions of someone who already possesses great abundance. This is the great secret. The world does not shape you. You shape the world through your assumptions, your beliefs, and the reality you occupy in your imagination. Most people live in a state of waiting. They say, once I have more money, then I will feel abundant. Once my circumstances change, then I will feel successful. But this is completely backward. The outer world is only a reflection of the inner world. If you wait for circumstances to shift before you assume your new state, you will wait forever. The world mirrors back to you the state you embody. If you continue to identify with lack, struggle, and limitation, that is what will be reflected in your life. But the moment you shift, truly shift, into the state of wealth, prosperity, and ease, the world will begin to rearrange itself to match your new vibration. Ask yourself, if I were already wealthy, how would I think? How would I feel? How would I move through the world? Begin to assume that identity now. Wealth is not about a number in your bank account. It is a state of being, a way of moving, a deep and unshakable certainty that you are already in possession of everything you need. When you internalize this truth, you will find that opportunities, financial breakthroughs, and success flow to you effortlessly. Because you are no longer operating from a place of desperation or need. You have already become the person who has what they desire. Imagine for a moment that your wealth is already secured. Imagine that everything you desire is already yours. How does that feel? Do you walk with confidence? Do you carry yourself with ease? Do you trust that every step you take leads to even greater success? Hold on to that feeling. Let it saturate every part of your being. This is the key. You must dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must not simply want it. You must embody it. Most people live from their current circumstances. They allow their environment to dictate their thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. But those who understand the truth know that circumstances are irrelevant. The only thing that matters is your inner state. You must not be moved by what you see. You must be moved by what you know to be true in your imagination. This is not about ignoring reality. It is about understanding that reality is fluid, constantly shifting according to your dominant state of mind. If you are living from the end, you will no longer think like someone struggling for money. You will no longer react to setbacks with fear or desperation. Instead, you will move through the world with certainty, knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly in your favor. You will no longer chase opportunities. They will come to you. You will no longer hope for wealth. You will assume it is already yours, and so it will be. The mistake many people make is to oscillate between states. One moment they feel wealthy, the next they are doubting and questioning. They allow their senses to convince them that nothing is changing, and so they slip back into their old patterns of thought. But true transformation comes when you remain faithful to your new state, no matter what appears before you. You do not check for signs. You do not question if it is working. You simply know. You live as if the outcome is already secured, because in truth, it is. This is why those who act, think, and make decisions from a place of abundance continue to experience more abundance. They are not hoping to become wealthy. They are already wealthy in their minds, and reality must conform to their assumption. The world cannot help but reflect the truth they have claimed for themselves. There is no need to wait. The moment you decide to shift your state, the process begins. Stop thinking from a place of lack. Stop reacting to what is. Instead, declare what will be. Feel the reality of it now. Step into the version of yourself who already has everything they desire. Walk with confidence, think with certainty, speak with conviction. The law is simple. Assume the state and the world will follow. The wealth you seek is already yours. You need only claim it. The unseen world is more real than what you perceive with your physical senses. Everything you desire is already in motion, forming in the unseen before it takes shape in the visible. The mistake most people make is believing only in what they can see, touch, and measure. But the truth is, reality begins in the invisible realm of assumption and belief. What you hold as true in your inner world must, by law, materialize in the outer world. This is why trust in the unseen is the key to bringing your desires into reality. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that beneath the soil, unseen forces are at work, causing the roots to take hold and the stem to push upward toward the light. You do not doubt that the process is unfolding, even when there is no visible evidence. In the same way, when you assume a new state of being, whether it be wealth, success, love, or health, you must trust that the process is already underway, even if your outer world has yet to reflect it. Many people give up too soon because they do not see immediate results. They assume that nothing is happening, and so they abandon their new belief and return to their old state of doubt and limitation. But reality does not operate on your timeline. There is always a gestation period between the moment a new assumption is made and the moment it manifests in physical form. Just as the seed must first establish roots before breaking through the soil, your new state of being is forming beneath the surface, arranging people, circumstances, and opportunities in ways beyond your current perception. This is where persistence is crucial. You must not waver. You must not question whether it is working. You must not allow the lack of immediate physical evidence to shake your belief. The moment you entertain doubt, you undo the work that has already begun. Instead, you must remain steadfast in your assumption, holding firm to the truth that what you have claimed is already yours. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the unwavering conviction that what you desire exists, even when there is no tangible proof. When you trust the unseen, you do not need reassurance from the external world because you know that the outcome is inevitable. You do not chase, beg, or plead. You simply remain in the state of fulfillment, knowing that all things must unfold in divine order. This trust is not passive. It is a state of deep inner knowing. It is walking through life as if the promise has already been fulfilled. It is feeling the joy, gratitude, and certainty of having what you desire, even before it physically arrives. The world cannot help but respond to your conviction. It must mold itself to match the reality you have embraced. Doubt and fear are the only barriers to manifestation. They create resistance and delay the process. When you allow yourself to question whether your assumption is taking root, you introduce instability into your creation. But when you stand firm in your belief, without needing to see immediate proof, you accelerate the unfolding of your desire. The world is filled with people who abandoned their dreams simply because they could not see evidence that they were coming true. They mistook temporary delays for failure. But those who achieve great things are those who persist, who trust the unseen even when the world appears unchanged. They continue to embody the state of their fulfilled desire until it becomes their living reality. Think of the countless forces that shape your life without your direct awareness. You do not see the electricity that powers your home, yet you trust that when you flip the switch, the light will turn on. You do not see the air you breathe, yet you trust that it sustains you. In the same way, the forces of creation are always at work, responding to the assumptions you hold most deeply. The unseen is not empty, it is where all things begin. Your new state of being is already forming. The wealth you seek, the success you envision, the love you desire, all of it is already taking shape in ways that may be beyond your current perception. The only question is whether you will persist long enough to see it through. So do not be discouraged by what appears to be stagnation. Do not let your senses deceive you into thinking nothing is happening. Every assumption you hold with faith is like a seed planted in the soil of the unseen. Give it time. Nurture it with belief. Walk each day as if it is already done. And soon the unseen will become seen. The intangible will become tangible. That which once existed only in your imagination will stand before you as undeniable fact. This is the law. Trust it. Persist in belief, and it must come to pass. Everything begins within you. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your assumptions. They are the architects of your reality. Wealth, success, and abundance do not come from the outside. They emerge from the state you occupy within. When you embody the feeling of wealth, when you think, speak, and move as if you already have it, the world must reflect it back to you. Your current circumstances are simply the result of past assumptions. If you wish to change them, you must first change your inner world. Live from the end, act as if, speak in terms of abundance. Trust in the unseen, knowing that what you assume to be true must manifest in time. Do not let temporary appearances shake your faith. Reality bends to those who persist in their belief. You are always creating. Every moment, you are shaping the direction of your life through the state you choose to embody. Choose wisely, choose boldly, choose abundance, and then walk forward with certainty, knowing that all things are already moving in your favor. Thank you. Imagine for a moment that everything you desire is already yours, not coming, not on its way, but already yours. If that is true, why do challenges arise? Why does life seem to test you just before the blessing appears? When God is about to bless you, He refines you. He removes what no longer belongs. The discomfort you feel is not punishment, it is transformation. You are being stretched, molded, and aligned with what is already yours in the unseen realm. Have you noticed that right before something incredible happens, life seems to throw obstacles in your path? This is because you are being strengthened for what is ahead. You do not plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. The soil must break, the roots must take hold, and only then does the fruit appear. When God is preparing you, He removes distractions, sometimes in the form of people. You may not understand it now, but certain relationships must end for you to receive what's next. Do not chase what is leaving. Trust what is unfolding. You pray, you wait. You wonder why nothing is happening. But the waiting is not wasted time, it is preparation. Every delay is a divine setup to place you in perfect alignment with your blessing. You begin to feel different. You no longer crave what you once did. You desire peace more than noise, purpose more than validation. That is a sign. You are being shifted to match the frequency of your blessing. You thought that opportunity was for you. You thought that relationship was meant to last. But God saw what you could not. When a door closes, do not stand there knocking. Walk forward. The right one is opening soon. You cannot carry yesterday's burdens into tomorrow's blessings. You feel an urge to let go, to cleanse your spirit, to free yourself from what no longer serves you. That is a sign. You are being prepared for something greater. Things start working out. Small blessings begin to unfold. You meet the right person. A solution appears where there was none. These are glimpses of what is coming. Stay in alignment. You may feel tired. You may feel like giving up, but you must hold firm in faith. The blessing is already yours. It is your unwavering belief that unlocks it. So, if you are facing challenges, feeling shifts, and experiencing delays, do not be discouraged. These are signs that something magnificent is unfolding. There comes a time in every journey when the path becomes difficult, when obstacles appear at every turn and nothing seems to be going as planned. It is in these moments that many feel tempted to give up, to question everything, and to wonder if the dream they hold so dearly is even possible. But what if these challenges were not signs of failure, but confirmations that something greater is unfolding? What if the very difficulties that make you question your path are, in fact, the evidence that you are standing on the edge of something magnificent? Life has a way of testing you right before it blesses you. The moments of struggle, the unexpected delays, the closed doors, these are not punishments, they are preparations. Just as the night is darkest before the dawn, just as the seed must break beneath the soil before it can sprout, your challenges are not signs of defeat, but of transformation. Imagine for a moment that you are being sculpted, molded by unseen hands that know exactly what you need to become the person who is ready to receive the blessing you have been seeking. A sculptor does not simply admire a block of marble and wish it would become a masterpiece. No, he chisels away at it, removing what does not belong, cutting away pieces that to the untrained eye may seem unnecessary. But the artist knows. Every stroke, every cut, every seemingly destructive action is leading to the emergence of something extraordinary. You are no different. The struggles you face are not meant to break you, they are shaping you. The delays you experience are not there to discourage you, they are aligning you with divine timing. The difficulties that seem overwhelming are not signs of abandonment, but of preparation. The challenge always intensifies before the breakthrough, because it is in that moment that you are closest to the blessing. Think back to the times in your life when you were on the verge of something significant. Did it come easily, or did it require faith, persistence, and an unshakable belief that what you desired was already yours? Every great success story is written with chapters of struggle. Every person who has ever achieved something meaningful has faced moments where giving up seemed like the easiest option. But those who hold firm, those who refuse to be defeated by temporary hardships, are the ones who walk into their blessings fully prepared to receive them. It is easy to believe when everything is going smoothly. It is effortless to have faith when doors are opening and opportunities are flowing. But true faith is tested in the waiting. True belief is proven in the moments when nothing makes sense, when you are faced with setbacks that seem unfair, when your prayers seem unanswered. And yet, this is precisely where the shift is happening. What appears to be the greatest opposition is often the final barrier before the manifestation of what you have been seeking. You must train yourself to see struggles differently. Instead of viewing them as obstacles, recognize them as signs. When things become difficult, when resistance appears, when you are faced with unexpected hardships, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this is happening because I am close. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this preparing me for? Because the truth is, nothing in your life is random, nothing is wasted. Every challenge carries within it the seeds of transformation. Do not run from difficulty. Do not shrink in the face of challenges. Stand firm in the knowing that what you seek is already yours, and what you are experiencing now is simply the process of stepping into it. The storm is not here to destroy you. It is here to clear the path. The obstacles are not blocking your blessing. They are ensuring that when you arrive, you will be strong enough to sustain it. When you feel resistance, do not be discouraged. When things seem to fall apart, do not lose heart. When the road becomes rough, walk forward with confidence, because you are not being punished. You are being prepared. And when the blessing finally comes, you will understand why the struggle had to come first. You will see that every moment of difficulty was leading you to exactly where you were meant to be. And you will know, beyond any doubt, that the storm was never meant to break you. It was only ever meant to bring you home to what was already yours. The moments in life when people unexpectedly walk away, friendships fade, relationships end, and connections that once felt unbreakable suddenly dissolve. In these times, it is natural to feel abandoned, to wonder why someone who was once an important part of your journey is no longer there. But what if this separation is not a loss, but a sign that something greater is being arranged for you? What if, instead of rejection, it is divine alignment? It is easy to become attached to the familiar, to hold on to people simply because they have been part of your past. But not everyone is meant to walk with you into your future. There are seasons in life, and just as trees shed their leaves in autumn to prepare for new growth in spring, you too must release certain connections to make space for what is coming. The removal of certain people is not a punishment. It is a clearing, a preparation for the next chapter of your life. When God is preparing to bless you, He often begins by shifting your environment. Sometimes that means removing those who are no longer in alignment with where you are going. This can be painful because the human heart seeks connection. We find comfort in relationships, and when they end, it can feel like something has been taken from us. But understand this: nothing is ever truly taken from you that was meant to stay. The people who leave are simply fulfilling their role in your story. Some were there to teach you a lesson, to help you grow, or to serve as a bridge to something greater. When their purpose is complete, they exit, making way for what is truly meant for you. At times, separation happens because you have outgrown a connection. You are evolving, and the energy around you must match your growth. Holding on to people who no longer align with your purpose can delay your progress. You may notice that certain conversations no longer inspire you, that what once connected you to someone now feels forced. This is not a sign that you are better than them. It is simply an indication that your paths are diverging. Trust that this is happening for a reason. There will also be moments when people walk away unexpectedly, without explanation. They may withdraw, distance themselves, or even betray your trust. This too is divine alignment. Sometimes God allows people to show their true nature so you do not carry them into a season where they do not belong. Instead of asking, "Why did they leave?" ask, "What is this making space for?" Instead of chasing after those who have chosen to go, surrender to the knowing that their absence is creating room for something better. You must learn to trust the flow of life. Not everyone who starts the journey with you is meant to finish it. Some people were only ever meant to be part of the foundation, not the final structure. When you cling to relationships that are meant to end, you block the new blessings that are trying to enter. Letting go is not always easy, but it is necessary. If you feel alone, if you are experiencing the loss of relationships, know this: isolation often comes before elevation. When God is preparing you for something greater, He may first separate you so that you can see clearly. Without the distractions of people who no longer serve your journey, you can hear divine guidance more clearly. You are being positioned, not punished. It may not make sense now, but one day you will look back and understand. You will see how every goodbye was leading you to something better. You will realize that what you thought was rejection was actually protection. And when the right people enter your life, those who uplift you, who align with your vision, who bring peace instead of confusion, you will understand why some had to leave. Do not mourn what is being removed. Rejoice in what is being prepared for you. Walk forward with faith, knowing that every ending is simply the beginning of something greater. There are moments in life when everything feels like it is standing still. You pray, you work, you believe, And yet nothing seems to be happening. The doors remain closed, the opportunities don't arrive, and the blessing you have been expecting feels out of reach. It is in these moments that frustration creeps in. Doubt whispers, maybe it's not meant for you. But what if the delay is not a denial? What if the very thing you perceive as a setback is actually divine preparation? Timing is everything. A flower does not bloom before its season, and fruit does not ripen overnight. If you rush the process, you miss the beauty of its unfolding. The same is true for the blessings meant for you. What you desire is already yours, but you must be ready to receive it. And readiness is not just about wanting something, it is about being prepared to sustain it. There is a reason things are not happening as quickly as you expect. Sometimes the delay is protecting you from something you cannot yet see. You may think you are ready for the next level, but there are lessons that must be learned first. A delay allows you to develop the strength, the wisdom, and the character required to handle what is coming. If you receive a blessing too soon, you may not have the capacity to keep it. What good is a door opening if you are not yet strong enough to walk through it? The most powerful transformations happen in the waiting. In stillness, you are refined. You are given the chance to release limiting beliefs, to grow in faith, and to build the inner foundation required to sustain your desires. If everything came instantly, there would be no depth, no appreciation, no real understanding of its value. What is truly meant for you is worth waiting for, and when the time is right, nothing can stop it from arriving. Think of all the times in your life when something did not happen when you wanted it to, only for you to later realize it was for the best. The relationship that didn't work out, the job that fell through, the opportunity that was delayed, all of it in hindsight led you somewhere better, but in the moment, it was difficult to see. The same is happening now. You may not understand why things are taking longer than expected, but one day you look back and see that every delay was divinely orchestrated. Patience is not passive. It is not about sitting idly, waiting for something to change. True patience is active trust. It is standing firm in the knowing that what is meant for you cannot be lost. It is continuing to move forward even when the road is unclear. It is refusing to let frustration dictate your emotions, knowing that divine timing is always perfect. When the delay feels unbearable, remind yourself, nothing good is ever rushed. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up every day to see if it is growing. You trust the process, you water it, you nurture it, and you believe that in time, it will break through the soil. The same is true for your desires. Just because you cannot see progress does not mean it is not happening. Every delay is working in your favor. It is aligning circumstances, preparing people, and shaping you into the person who can fully receive what is coming. Instead of resisting it, embrace it. Trust that the pause is not a punishment, it is a preparation. And when the time is right, when you are truly ready, the door will open effortlessly, and you will understand why it could not have happened a moment sooner. There comes a time when something within you begins to shift. It is not something you can fully explain, yet you feel it in the depths of your being. A quiet knowing, an unshakable awareness, a sense that something greater is on the horizon. This feeling is not based on external circumstances. Nothing in your current reality may suggest change is coming, and yet you just know. This is the whisper of the divine, the stirring of your spirit as it prepares you for the blessing ahead. It is a shift that often comes without warning. You wake up one day, and things that once interested you no longer hold the same weight. The conversations you used to engage in feel empty, and the places you used to find comfort no longer satisfy you. It is as if your soul is expanding, making space for something new, something higher. This shift can feel unsettling. You may not fully understand why you feel different, why you are suddenly drawn to solitude, to deep reflection, to a yearning for more. This is because growth is happening beneath the surface. Your consciousness is aligning with what is meant for you, and though you cannot see it yet, change is already unfolding. The people around you may not understand this shift. They may question why you are not as engaged in things that once excited you. They may sense a difference in your energy, a quiet confidence that was not there before. Do not let their confusion shake you. This journey is not for them to understand. It is for you to embrace. You are being prepared, being positioned, being transformed from within. There is a reason why this awareness arrives before the blessing. The mind must first align with the new reality before it manifests. Before anything appears in the physical world, it must first be created in the unseen. Your inner world must shift before your outer world can reflect it. This is why, even before the blessing arrives, you begin to sense its presence. It is already yours. You are simply being prepared to receive it. Trust this knowing. Do not dismiss it as mere wishful thinking. Your spirit is guiding you, revealing to you what is already set in motion. When you feel this shift, begin to act as if what you desire is already here. Walk with the confidence of someone who knows they are stepping into something greater. Let go of doubt, release fear, and move with certainty. This shift is a call to alignment. It is an invitation to prepare yourself, to let go of anything that no longer serves you, to step boldly into the version of yourself that is ready for the next level. Pay attention to the thoughts, the inspirations, the nudges that arise within you. These are signs, messages leading you toward what is already unfolding. You are not imagining it. That sense of expectancy, that inner knowing, that feeling that something bigger is coming, it is real. The blessing is already on its way. Your spirit knows before your mind can comprehend. Walk forward with faith, knowing that what you feel within is a glimpse of what is already prepared for you. There are moments in life when doors close without warning. Opportunities that once seemed promising suddenly disappear. Relationships that felt secure come to an unexpected end. Plans that appeared certain unravel before your eyes. In these moments, it is easy to feel lost, confused, and even abandoned. You may wonder, why is this happening? What did I do wrong? But what if the door closing is not a punishment, but a divine redirection? What if the very thing you are grieving was never meant to be yours in the first place? What if the closed door is not rejection, but protection? Too often we cling to situations, people, and opportunities because they feel familiar. We convince ourselves that we know what is best, that if we just try harder, things will work out. But the truth is, not everything is meant to go with you into the next chapter of your life. A closed door is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of something greater. Imagine how many times you have been spared from something you thought you wanted, a job you desperately applied for but never got, a relationship you invested in only for it to fall apart, a plan that seemed perfect yet never came to pass. At the time it may have felt like failure, but looking back, you see it for what it was: protection. A closed door is often God's way of saving you from what you cannot yet see. You may not understand it now, but trust that every closed door is making way for something better. If you were meant to walk through it, it would have stayed open. When something is removed from your life, it is because it no longer serves your highest good. You were not rejected. You were redirected. You were being guided towards something greater, something more aligned with the person you are becoming. The key is to release resistance. Instead of fighting to reopen doors that have closed, surrender. Trust that if something is meant for you, it will find its way back. And if it does not, it was never yours to begin with. Do not waste your energy mourning what has left. Lift your eyes to what is ahead. The longer you hold on to what is gone, the longer you delay the new blessings waiting for you. When one door closes, another opens. But you must be willing to walk forward. This is where faith comes in. Faith is believing that even when you do not see the next step, it is there. It is trusting that the path unfolding before you is leading you exactly where you need to be. Many of the greatest blessings in life come disguised as disappointments. But when you shift your perspective, you begin to see that nothing was ever lost. Everything that leaves makes space for something better. Every ending is a new beginning. Every closed door is a step closer to the right one. So do not fear when a door closes. Do not dwell on what was. Instead, trust in what is to come. The blessing ahead is far greater than anything behind you. You are being led, protected, and positioned for something beyond what you could have imagined. Walk forward with faith, knowing that what is meant for you will never pass you by. There comes a moment when the past no longer holds the same weight it once did. A quiet shift begins within you, a deep, undeniable urge to release old patterns, habits, and attachments that no longer serve you. You may not fully understand why, but something inside tells you that it is time to let go. This is not just a passing thought, it is a calling. You begin to realize that holding on to the past has only kept you trapped. Old wounds, regrets, and disappointments have taken up too much space in your mind and heart. You see now that they have only delayed the blessings that are trying to reach you. You feel it in your spirit. The time has come to release what no longer aligns with the person you are becoming. Letting go may feel difficult. The past is familiar, and familiarity feels safe even when it no longer serves you. You may find yourself questioning, what if I let go and regret it? What if I am not ready? But deep down, you know the truth. You cannot carry the weight of the past and expect to step into the future with ease. The two cannot coexist. You must choose. This urge to let go is not random. It is divine preparation. You are being positioned for something greater, but first you must create space for it. Imagine trying to fill a cup that is already overflowing. No matter how much more is poured in, it will spill over and be wasted. The same is true in your life. If your hands are full of the past, you cannot receive what is meant for your future. You may notice certain habits no longer feel right. The distractions, the negative thinking, the cycles you have repeated for years, they suddenly feel heavy, unnecessary. You are being called higher. And to rise, you must lighten your load. People from your past may no longer resonate with you. Some relationships that once felt important may start to fade. You are not losing them. You are evolving beyond what once connected you. Letting go does not mean you do not care. It means you are choosing growth over stagnation. You are choosing peace over chaos. You are choosing your future over your past. Pain from past experiences may also resurface, not to haunt you, but to be released. You are being given an opportunity to heal, to finally let go of the disappointments, the betrayals, the missed chances. You realize that carrying this pain has only weighed you down. Forgiveness is no longer something you resist. It becomes the key to your freedom. Letting go does not mean erasing the past. It means accepting it, learning from it, and moving forward without being bound by it. The past shaped you, but it does not define you. You are no longer who you once were, and because of that, you no longer need to hold on to what once was. Trust the urge to release. It is not an accident. It is a sign that your spirit is preparing you for something new. As you let go, you make room for the blessings that have been waiting for you. You step into a lighter, freer version of yourself. What is ahead of you is greater than what is behind you. The moment you release the past, you step into the fullness of what is meant for you. The time is now. Let go, trust, and watch as life unfolds in ways you never imagined. There are moments in life when things begin to shift in your favor, often in ways you did not expect. You find yourself in the right place at the right time. An opportunity presents itself when you least anticipate it. A door opens that you never even knocked on. These are not coincidences. They are signs that you are aligned with something greater. These moments may seem small. A kind word from a stranger, an unexpected financial blessing, a meeting with someone who holds the key to your next step. But when you start to notice these occurrences happening more frequently, you begin to realize that something is shifting. These are glimpses of the blessings that are making their way into your life. Favor does not always arrive in the way you expect. Sometimes it comes in the form of an opportunity disguised as a challenge. Perhaps you lose something only to realize later that it cleared space for something better. Maybe you were rejected from one opportunity, only to be guided toward one that is far more aligned with your purpose. This kind of favor is not random. It is a sign that you are walking in the right direction. When you are being prepared for a blessing, life begins to rearrange itself to support you. The things you once struggled for may now come effortlessly. People may suddenly be more willing to help you. Resources appear just when you need them. It is easy to overlook these moments if you are focused only on the big picture. But divine favor often begins in the small things. A shift in how people treat you, an opportunity you never saw coming, a moment of clarity that allows you to make the right decision. The more you recognize these signs, the more you open yourself up to receive. This is not about luck, it is about alignment. When you are in alignment with where you are meant to be, life begins to flow. Struggles that once seemed endless begin to fade. The energy around you changes. You start to attract the right people, the right situations, and the right opportunities. There will still be challenges, but they will no longer feel like obstacles. Instead, they will feel like stepping stones, guiding you forward. When you start to experience unusual favor, it is a reminder that you are not alone. You are being guided, supported, and prepared for something greater. But here is the key. You must remain open. Many people receive signs of favor but dismiss them as luck or coincidence. They ignore the small blessings and focus only on what has not yet arrived. But those who recognize these moments, who give thanks for even the smallest opportunities, create the space for more to come. Gratitude is the key to unlocking more favor. When you acknowledge and appreciate even the smallest blessings, you send a signal that you are ready for more. Life responds to your awareness. The more you recognize favor, the more you will receive. So pay attention. Notice the ways life is showing up for you. The unexpected call, the kind gesture, the door that opens without effort. These are not accidents, they are signs. They are reminders that something greater is unfolding. Trust in the timing of these blessings. Do not rush the process or question why things are happening the way they are. Instead, embrace the journey. Know that every moment of favor is leading you towards something even greater. You are on the right path. The evidence is already appearing. Watch, trust, and receive. There comes a time when everything around you seems to test your patience, your resilience, and most importantly, your faith. It may feel as though obstacles are piling up, as if every step forward is met with resistance. You begin to wonder why things are not moving as quickly as you had hoped, or why the path is not as smooth as you expected. But this is not happening to break you. It is happening to prepare you. Faith is the foundation of every blessing. It is the unseen force that turns the impossible into reality. When you are being prepared for something greater, your faith must be strong enough to carry it. Before the blessing arrives, you must prove to yourself and to the universe that you are ready. And the only way to strengthen faith is to be placed in situations that require it. Perhaps you are facing delays, setbacks, or even moments of deep uncertainty. You may feel as though nothing is working, no matter how much effort you put in. But this is where faith is tested the most. Will you continue to believe, even when you do not see results? Will you trust that something greater is unfolding, even when your current reality tells you otherwise? It is not about seeing, it is about knowing. It is about trusting that the blessing is already yours, even before it physically appears. If everything came easily, there would be no need for faith. But it is in the waiting, in the challenges, and in the moments of uncertainty that true faith is built. The tests you face are not there to discourage you. They are there to refine you, to strengthen you, to prepare you for what is coming. Every great blessing requires a strong foundation, and faith is that foundation. Without it, you may receive the blessing but lack the wisdom or endurance to maintain it. This is why the process is necessary. You are being stretched beyond your comfort zone, but not to harm you, to elevate you. The delays are not punishments, they are divine preparations. The setbacks are not failures, they are lessons that will equip you for what is ahead. Many people give up right before their breakthrough. They allow doubt to take root, letting fear convince them that what they desire will never come. But those who hold on to faith, who trust even in the silence, are the ones who receive the fullness of their blessings. Faith is more than just believing. It is acting as if you have already received what you asked for. It is walking with confidence, knowing that what is meant for you cannot be taken away. It is choosing gratitude even before the blessing arrives because you trust that it is on its way. If you find yourself being tested, do not see it as a sign to quit. See it as confirmation that something greater is coming. The stronger the test, the greater the blessing. You would not be challenged if you were not meant for more. You would not be stretched if you were not ready to grow. This is your call to strengthen your faith, to trust deeper, to believe without hesitation, and to walk forward even when the path is unclear. What you seek is already seeking you. The only question is, will you have the faith to hold on until it arrives? You are not being broken, you are being built. Your faith is the key, and the blessing is already on its way. Keep believing, keep trusting, keep going. Your blessing is already prepared. The question is, are you ready to receive it? Walk in faith, trust in the timing, and know that everything is aligning in your favor. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, feel the stillness around you. Now, let me ask you, if you are already a millionaire, how would you wake up tomorrow? How would you walk, talk, and carry yourself throughout the day? Would you move with certainty, knowing that wealth is your natural state? You see, this is the key. Your fortune is not something you strive for, it is something you awaken to. For the next 12 months, you are not working towards becoming a millionaire, you are one, right now. The world will conform to the identity you assume. Let's walk through the plan. Month 1, 3. Reprogramming the mind. Everything begins in the unseen before it appears in the seen. Your first 3 months will be dedicated to mastering your internal world. You must silence doubt, override limiting beliefs, and adopt the mindset of one who is already wealthy. Each morning, visualize yourself as a millionaire. Feel the security, the freedom, the joy of financial abundance. Speak only words that affirm your wealth. Never say, "I can't afford it." Instead say, "Money flows to me easily." Carry yourself with confidence. Dress, walk, and make decisions as if you have already arrived. The external world is but a mirror, and once you shift within, the outer reality will change. Now that your mind is set, you must act accordingly. A millionaire does not hesitate, nor does he shrink in fear. He moves with purpose and vision. Invest in knowledge. books, mentorships, and experiences that expand your financial intelligence. Take bold, inspired action without doubt or fear. Trust that every step is leading you toward wealth. You are not trying to be rich. You are merely expressing the wealth that already exists within you. Month 7, 9, multiple streams of income. One source of income is not enough. A millionaire understands that money is a flowing river, not a stagnant pool. Create new income streams. Investments, business ventures, or high-income skills that generate passive wealth. Develop financial discipline. Manage, multiply, and move money strategically. Surround yourself with wealth-conscious individuals. The energy of your environment shapes your reality. Your old self, the one that believed in limitations, has faded. You are moving with the certainty of one who knows his wealth is inevitable. Month 10, month 12. Walking in wealth at this stage, you no longer hope to be a millionaire. You embody it. Everything around you begins to reflect this truth. Your thoughts, words, and actions all align with your financial abundance. You see evidence of wealth appearing in your life. Unexpected income, new opportunities, and financial breakthroughs. Gratitude flows effortlessly because you know without a doubt that you have mastered the art of wealth. Your bank account may still be catching up, but the transformation is complete. You are no longer bound by scarcity. You have become the millionaire you once sought to be. For a moment, and let yourself step into a world where money is no longer a concern. Imagine waking up in the morning, stretching out in a bed that is yours without worry, knowing that everything you desire is within reach. Feel the security that comes with having more than enough, the deep sense of calm that accompanies financial abundance. There is no rush, no struggle, no need to grasp at success, because it is already yours. Now open your eyes and recognize this. The only thing standing between you and this reality is the belief that it has not yet arrived. Wealth is not something external to be pursued. It is an internal state of being that you must assume before it materializes in your life. The world is not responding to your desires. It is responding to the identity you have chosen to inhabit. If you see yourself as someone who is trying to become rich, you will always remain in the state of trying. If you see yourself as someone who is already abundant, the outer world must reflect that truth. This is the foundation of all transformation. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. Many spend their lives chasing money, running after opportunities, constantly searching for the next strategy, the next business idea, the next lucky break. They believe that once they reach a certain income, or once they secure a particular job, then they will finally feel rich, finally feel successful. But this is an illusion. The very act of chasing creates more chasing. The person who believes wealth is always just out of reach will continue to experience a life where it remains just out of reach. Step back for a moment and think. What if wealth is not something that must be pursued, but something that must be revealed? What if the millionaire version of you already exists, right here, right now, waiting to be acknowledged? Your mind is the master architect of your reality. If you were to assume, laidly, completely, without hesitation, that you are already wealthy, your thoughts, behaviors, and circumstances would begin to shift to match that assumption. The outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your internal world. The moment you decide that you are rich, truly rich, not just financially, but in mind and spirit, in the way you move through life, you begin to act differently. You no longer hesitate when making financial decisions because you trust that money flows effortlessly to you. You no longer operate from a place of fear, desperately clinging to every dollar, because you know that your wealth is infinite. You stop making choices based on lack, and instead, you move through the world as someone who already has everything they need. This shift is not about reckless spending or pretending to be something you are not. It is about alignment. It is about becoming the person who naturally attracts wealth, rather than the person who is constantly struggling to attain it. The person who is truly wealthy does not check their bank account in anxiety, does not feel the weight of every financial decision, does not live in the mindset of scarcity. They trust, they know, and because they know, their reality reflects it back to them. You might wonder, but how do I assume wealth when my current reality shows me otherwise? This is where most people falter. They believe that their present circumstances are proof of who they are. But understand this, your current circumstances are simply the result of past assumptions. They are echoes of an old mindset, a previous state of being. If you continue to define yourself by what you see now, you will continue to recreate it. Instead, you must define yourself by what you are stepping into. Start small. Each morning before you rise, take a deep breath and step into the feeling of wealth. Imagine what it feels like to have complete financial freedom, not just the numbers in your account, but the deep inner confidence that comes with knowing you are supported, that money is always flowing to you. Throughout the day, remind yourself that you are no longer someone who lacks, but someone who has. When faced with a decision, ask yourself, how would the wealthiest version of me respond? And act accordingly. The world will resist at first, because it is still reflecting your old self. Doubts may arise, challenges may appear, and it may seem as though nothing is changing. But if you persist, if you hold the assumption of wealth unwaveringly, refusing to be swayed by temporary illusions, life will begin to shift. Unexpected income will appear, opportunities will present themselves, the right connections will form. What once seemed impossible will become effortless because you are no longer striving. You are simply allowing the wealth that was always yours to take shape. Most will never realize this truth. They will continue to chase, to struggle, to believe that money is something external, something difficult, something meant for others. But you now know the secret. Wealth is an identity, not a pursuit. And the moment you claim it as yours, the world has no choice but to comply. Imagine yourself already living the life of a millionaire. See yourself in the home of your dreams, feeling the comfort of financial freedom, the ease of knowing that every desire is effortlessly fulfilled. Picture the experiences, the choices, the sense of abundance that comes with wealth. Do not merely observe it, feel the certainty, the power, the joy of knowing that you have already arrived. Now, open your eyes and understand this. The moment you truly assume this state as your reality, the world will begin to shift to make it so. Everything in life is a reflection of the assumptions you hold. What you believe to be true is what you continue to experience. If you assume wealth is difficult to attain, life will show you endless obstacles. If you assume that money flows easily and naturally to you, opportunities will begin to present themselves without struggle. The outer world does not create your inner state creates the outer world. This is the fundamental truth that most overlook. They believe they must first see the money in their hands before they can feel wealthy, but it is the other way around. You must first feel wealthy within before the physical world reflects it back to you. The power of assumption is absolute. Your mind dictates reality, whether you are conscious of it or not. Every day you are assuming things about yourself, your worth, your financial state, and your future. The question is, are you assuming wealth or are you assuming struggle? Are you assuming that you are already a millionaire or are you assuming that it is something you are still waiting for? Whatever you assume with conviction will harden into fact. If you were already a millionaire, how would you think? How would you carry yourself? Would you doubt, hesitate, or fear? Or would you walk with the confidence of someone who knows that wealth is already theirs? The key is to hold this assumption so firmly that nothing in the external world can shake it. You do not waver based on temporary circumstances. If your bank account is empty, it does not concern you because you know that it is merely an illusion, a reflection of past thoughts. Your new assumption, your unwavering belief in your wealth, will override it. Most people allow external reality to dictate their internal state. If they see lack, they feel lack. If they see struggle, they feel struggle. But the ones who master assumption understand that they must hold the vision of wealth even when their senses try to tell them otherwise. They persist in the belief no matter what. And because they persist, the world eventually conforms to match that belief. This is not about wishful thinking. It is about certainty. It is about knowing that reality is malleable, shaped entirely by consciousness. When you assume something with full conviction, the world bends to accommodate that assumption. If you believe beyond any doubt that you are already a millionaire, that assumption will set into motion a series of events that will bring it into physical form. The right people, ideas, and circumstances will be drawn to you. You will take actions that align with your new identity, often without even realizing it. Your perception of opportunities will change. What once seemed impossible will suddenly appear effortless. But you must not falter. Many begin this practice with enthusiasm, but when they do not see immediate results, they return to their old assumptions of lack and limitation. This is why most never achieve wealth. They waver. They allow doubt to creep in. They assume success for a moment, but then allow the weight of current circumstances to pull them back into old patterns. The secret is to hold the assumption as if it were already true, regardless of what the physical world appears to show. Think of a seed planted in the ground. When you first bury it, you see nothing. But beneath the surface, the process has already begun. If you continue to water it, nurture it, and trust that it will grow, one day it will break through the soil. But if you keep digging it up, doubting whether it will sprout, it will never reach its full potential. The same is true for your assumption of wealth. The moment you decide, truly decide, that you are already a millionaire, the process begins. But it requires faith, patience, and unwavering conviction. Begin now, assume it fully. See yourself as a person of immense wealth. Walk with the posture, the attitude, the certainty of someone who knows they are financially abundant. Speak as though it is already true. Make decisions from the mindset of wealth. Do not wait for proof, become the proof. The world is merely an echo of your inner state, and the moment you master the power of assumption, life will have no choice but to align itself with your belief. What you see in your present reality is nothing but a reflection of past thoughts, past assumptions, past beliefs. It is not permanent, it is not fixed. It is merely an echo, a delayed response to what you have previously imagined and accepted as true. The moment you understand this, you will stop reacting to circumstances and begin to master them. You will realize that the wealth, success, and abundance you desire are not dependent on what is in front of you now, but on what you choose to assume and persist in mentally. Most people live their lives bound by what they can see, hear, and touch. If their bank account is empty, they assume lack. If opportunities seem scarce, they assume struggle. They let the outer world dictate their inner world, unaware that this is the very reason they remain stuck. But those who understand the nature of reality do the opposite. They refuse to be defined by present conditions. They know that what appears real today is simply the manifestation of old thinking, and that new thinking, sustained with conviction, must bring about new experiences. If you want to become wealthy, you must first detach from what your senses tell you about your financial situation. You must stop looking at the numbers in your bank account as proof of who you are. You must stop measuring your success by external evidence. Instead, shift your focus inward. Begin to see wealth in your imagination and accept it as your reality long before the world reflects it. If you persist, it is inevitable that the world will conform to your new inner state. Consider the power of imagination. Everything you see around you, from the buildings to the technology, from great works of art to entire industries, was once just an idea in someone's mind. It did not exist in the physical world, but the Creator saw it clearly within. They did not wait for proof before believing in their vision. They believed first, and the proof followed. The same law applies to wealth. You do not need to see the money before you believe in your abundance. You believe in it first, and then it materializes. Detachment is key. Detachment does not mean ignoring reality or pretending circumstances do not exist. It means refusing to be controlled by them. It means recognizing that what you see now is simply the product of past assumptions, and that you have the power to create something entirely new. It means placing your trust in the unseen, in the reality you are forming through your imagination, rather than the outdated reflection of past thoughts. Think of a radio. If you are tuned into a station that plays only negativity, struggle, and lack, that is all you will hear. But the moment you change the frequency, you begin to receive something new. Music, inspiration, knowledge. You would not blame the radio for what it plays, you would simply change the station. Your mind operates in the same way. If you continue to focus on present circumstances, you remain tuned to the same reality. But the moment you shift your mental frequency to wealth, abundance, and success, you begin receiving a new reality. Most people get caught in a cycle. They see lack, they focus on it, they assume it is real, and in doing so they create more of it. They live in reaction to their circumstances instead of taking control of them. The only way to break free is to detach completely from what appears to be and invest all your energy into what you are creating. When you stop measuring your wealth by what your eyes see and instead measure it by what your imagination holds, you step into your true power. This is not an act of delusion, it is an act of faith. Faith in the unseen is the foundation of all success. If you can see it in your mind and feel it as real, it is already done. The outer world has no choice but to catch up. But if you allow yourself to be swayed by circumstances, to react to what appears to be, you will remain bound to the past. Stop checking for evidence. Stop looking to the physical world for confirmation before you believe. The moment you decide that wealth is yours, act as if it is already true. Make choices from the state of someone who has already arrived. Carry yourself as a person of abundance. Trust that unseen forces are working on your behalf, aligning events, opportunities, and ideas that will make your assumption a reality. Your present reality is old news. It is a reflection of who you once were, not who you are becoming. Do not give it power. Instead, step boldly into the future you have created in your mind. Know that it is real, that it is already unfolding, and that nothing can stop it except your own doubt. If you refuse to doubt, if you hold steady to your vision with unwavering faith, you will wake up one day and find that the world has rearranged itself to match the wealth you assumed within. Each day before the world wakes up to claim your attention, take time to claim your reality. Your wealth, your success, your abundance. These are not things to be chased, but states to be assumed. And the most powerful way to assume them is through daily mental rehearsal. This is not idle daydreaming. It is the intentional act of training your mind to accept wealth as its natural state and bring forth the scene of your desired life. Do not simply see it as an outsider looking in. Step into it. Feel it. Make it so vivid that it feels more real than the present moment. See yourself in the home of your dreams, running your hands over the fine textures of its walls, walking through its grand spaces as though they belong to you, because they do. See yourself checking your bank account and feeling a deep sense of satisfaction at the abundance reflected there. Imagine the transactions, the effortless movement of wealth in and out. Never a worry, only a knowing that money flows to you with ease. But vision alone is not enough. You must charge your images with feeling. Thought alone does not create. It is the emotional intensity behind the thought that shapes reality. If you simply visualize wealth without embodying the emotions that accompany it, you are merely entertaining an idea. But when you feel the joy, the freedom, the confidence of being financially abundant, you are assuming the state of wealth. And assumption, when persisted in, hardens into fact. How would you feel if you were already living your dream life? Would you feel relieved, grateful, excited, powerful? Hold on to that feeling. Breathe into it. Let it flood every cell of your being until you forget for a moment that you are sitting in a quiet room with your eyes closed. Instead, you are there in the reality of your choosing. And because you have experienced it inwardly, you must experience it outwardly. The world is simply a mirror, reflecting back to you the state you consistently occupy. This is the power of daily mental rehearsal. It is the practice of impressing upon your subconscious mind the truth of your wealth before it appears in physical form. And once the subconscious mind accepts something as real, it will move heaven and earth to bring it about. Ideas will come to you. Unexpected opportunities will arise. People, circumstances, and events will shift in ways you could never have planned. But all of this begins in the unseen. Many people will tell you to work harder, to chase opportunities, to do more. But action without a shift in consciousness is like trying to row upstream against a strong current. You may move, but it will be exhausting and slow. When you practice daily mental rehearsal, you align yourself with the current of wealth. You no longer struggle against circumstances. You allow them to rearrange themselves in your favor. Do not make the mistake of assuming that just because you cannot yet see your wealth, it is not real. The tree exists in the seed before it breaks through the soil. The masterpiece exists in the mind of the artist before the first brushstroke touches the canvas. And your wealth exists in your consciousness before it takes form in your world. Mental rehearsal is the watering of the seed, the shaping of the masterpiece before it appears. The seed of your being. Each day, dedicate time to this practice. Do not skip it, no matter how busy life becomes. Just as you would not expect a body to grow stronger without consistent exercise, do not expect your mind to accept wealth as its natural state without daily training. Make it a sacred ritual, morning, before the noise of the world intrudes, or night, when the mind is most impressionable. These are the moments to step into your wealth, to see it, feel it, and live it before it arrives. And when doubt arises, when the old patterns of thinking try to creep in, remind yourself, the unseen is more real than the seen. What you assume, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you persist in mentally will solidify into experience. Do not strive toward wealth. Assume it. Do not reach for success. Embody it. The secret to transforming your reality lies not in effort, struggle, or endless pursuit, but in the realization that what you seek is already yours. You are not someone trying to become a millionaire. You are a millionaire now. The moment you accept this as truth, the world begins to shift to accommodate your assumption. Most people approach wealth as something distant, something to be achieved through years of work, struggle, and gradual progress. They make financial decisions from a place of limitation, always measuring their current circumstances, always trying to get there. But those who understand the nature of creation do not act from lack. They do not behave as if they are on a journey to wealth. They act as if wealth is already present. They make decisions, speak, and carry themselves from the end, already living in the reality of financial abundance, regardless of what their senses may temporarily suggest. This is the key to mastering your reality. The world does not respond to your desires. It responds to your state of being. If you walk through life as someone hoping to be wealthy one day, you will always be chasing that day. But if you step into the identity of wealth now, mentally, emotionally, and behaviorally, everything around you will shift to reflect that state. Ask yourself, how does a millionaire think? How does a person of abundance approach opportunities? Do they hesitate? Do they dwell in doubt? Do they fear loss? Or do they move through the world with confidence, clarity, and decisiveness? Begin to embody these traits now. This does not mean reckless spending or pretending to have money you do not yet physically possess. Acting from the end is not about outward displays of wealth. It is about the internal posture of certainty and confidence. It means making financial decisions with the mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," shift to, "How can I afford this?" Instead of seeing opportunities as risks, see them as stepping stones. Instead of hoarding money in fear, allow it to flow freely, knowing that it is always being replenished. When you speak, let your words reflect the reality you have chosen. Stop affirming struggle. Stop reinforcing lack. The way you speak about money, success, and opportunity shapes your world. If you constantly declare, "I'm trying to make more money," you are affirming a state of trying rather than having. Instead, speak from the certainty that wealth is yours. Say, "Money flows to me with ease. Opportunities always find me. I am a magnet for wealth." The words you choose imprint upon your subconscious, and your subconscious brings them to life. Beyond words, observe how you carry yourself. Wealth is not just about money, it is about presence. A person of abundance moves with certainty, not desperation. They do not seek validation, they radiate self-assurance. They do not shrink in fear of failure, they know that success is inevitable. Begin to embody this now. Walk with confidence, stand tall, make eye contact. Engage with the world as someone who has already arrived, not as someone hoping to get there. This shift in identity is what bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. The moment you stop seeing yourself as someone on the path to success and start seeing yourself as someone who is already successful, life will respond accordingly. The right people, resources, and circumstances will begin to appear not because you are chasing them, but because they are naturally drawn to the state you occupy. This is why so many who strive endlessly for success never seem to reach it, because they are always projecting it into the future rather than assuming it now. The key is to collapse that distance, to live, think, and act as though your desired outcome is already fact. When you wake up each morning, do not start your day as someone struggling to build wealth. Start it as a wealthy person would. What thoughts do you entertain? What choices do you make? How do you spend your time? Align every aspect of your being with the life you have claimed, and reality will mold itself to match your assumption. Hold this conviction, refuse to waver, and most importantly, never act from a place of lack. Every decision you make, every step you take, let it come from the end, not toward it. Wealth is not something you become, it is something you realize. You already are. Gratitude is the final and most powerful seal upon all that you wish to manifest. It is the quiet yet undeniable force that cements your reality into place. When you give thanks, you do more than express appreciation. You affirm that what you seek is already yours. And in doing so, you invite more of it into your life. Most people wait until their desires materialize before they feel grateful. They wait for the money to arrive, the business to succeed, the circumstances to shift before they say, "Thank you." But this is not how creation works. If you only express gratitude after something has appeared, you are merely reacting to life, not shaping it. The secret is to give thanks before you see any evidence of change, to cultivate an unwavering knowing that your wealth is already here, even if it has not yet reached your physical senses. Gratitude is not just a practice, it is a state of being. When you live in a state of gratitude, you move through the world with the assumption that life is already working in your favor. You stop worrying, stop doubting, stop questioning if your desires will come to pass. Instead, you walk in certainty, because gratitude confirms that what you desire is already done. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between the imagined and the experienced. Each morning, before the noise of the day sets in, take a moment to sit in gratitude, not for what you hope will come, but for what already exists in the unseen. Close your eyes and feel the joy of financial abundance as if it were already flowing into your life. Give thanks for the wealth, the success, the freedom, and the limitless opportunities that are unfolding for you. Do not wait for physical proof. Let your gratitude be the proof. Say, thank you for the overflowing prosperity in my life. Thank you for the financial abundance that supports me with ease. Thank you for the endless opportunities that come to me effortlessly. Speak these words not as a wish, but as a fact. Feel the deep appreciation in your heart, as though you have just received everything you have ever wanted, because in truth you have. The moment you assume something to be true, it is already set into motion. Gratitude amplifies your energy. It raises your frequency to match the wealth you desire. If you constantly dwell in frustration over what you lack, you align yourself with lack. If you complain about your financial struggles, you reinforce them. But the moment you shift into gratitude, you step into abundance. You affirm that there is nothing missing, that you are already provided for, and the universe responds accordingly. Many believe they must struggle and work tirelessly before they can experience wealth. But gratitude shortcuts the process. It bypasses the need for struggle by shifting your state of being immediately. Instead of striving, you receive. Instead of chasing, you attract. Wealth becomes a natural consequence of your inner alignment rather than a distant goal you must fight for. Throughout your day, make gratitude your foundation. When you spend money, do not feel fear or hesitation. Give thanks that you have it to spend, knowing that more is always coming. When an opportunity arises, even if it seems small, appreciate it fully, for it is a stepping stone toward greater things. If an unexpected challenge appears, be grateful still, for every situation carries a hidden gift meant to bring you closer to your vision. Gratitude transforms not only your reality but your entire experience of life. When you focus on what you appreciate, you begin to see how much is already working in your favor. You become a magnet for wealth, not because you are demanding it, but because you are recognizing that it is already yours. And the more you acknowledge it, the more it expands. Before you close your eyes, reflect on all that you are thankful for, not just what has already come, but what is on its way. See yourself living your dream life, feeling the fulfillment of knowing that you are financially free. Give thanks as though you are already there, because in truth you are. The outer world is simply catching up to the reality you have chosen within. Gratitude is the final step, the confirmation that your manifestation is complete. It seals your assumption, making it firm and unshakable. When you give thanks for your wealth, even before it appears, you declare to the universe that you already have it. And in response, the universe delivers exactly that. Wealth flows effortlessly to the one who knows it is already theirs. Everything you desire already exists within you. Wealth is not something to chase. It is a state of being you assume. By mastering the power of assumption, you dictate your reality, aligning your thoughts and emotions with the financial success you seek. Detachment from circumstances frees you from the illusion of lack. Daily mental rehearsal strengthens your vision, making it as real in your mind as it is destined to be in your hands. Acting from the end solidifies your identity as a millionaire, shaping your decisions and behaviors in accordance with the wealth you claim as yours. And finally, gratitude seals the manifestation, confirming your belief and allowing the universe to deliver all that you affirm. The journey to wealth is not about struggle. It is about consciousness. The moment you embody the reality of abundance, life reshapes itself to mirror your inner conviction. Your only task is to assume, feel, and trust in the unseen, knowing that the outer world will inevitably conform. Wealth is not in the distant future, it is already yours. Now live from that truth. Thank you for your time and for embracing this path of transformation. May you walk in certainty, knowing that your prosperity is already here.